Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the Crawford County Bar Association, welcome to the 2019 Statewide Judicial Candidate Forum. On the ballot this November, voters will be asked to fill 2 seats on the Pennsylvania Superior Court. Today, we have the honor of hosting 3 of those candidates for those appellate court seats, and an opportunity to hear from each of them. The Pennsylvania appellate courts consist of the intermediate courts, the Superior Court, and the Commonwealth Court, which hears civil and criminal appeals from the trial court and certain cases brought against the state and its agencies, and the Supreme Court, which is the highest appellate court in our Commonwealth. The Superior Court was established in 1895. Because the Supreme Court hears appeals in only a small fraction of cases, the Superior Court is often the final decision-making court in disputes involving private litigants. The Superior Court is where appeals from most trial court decisions are filed. There are 15 Superior Court judges, and usually 3 judge panels are assigned to hear cases in Philadelphia, Harrisburg, and Pittsburgh, although judges frequently hear cases in other cities as well. The Superior Court is responsible for hearing appeals in criminal cases, matters involving children and families, and most other civil cases that don't involve a state or local government body as a party to the dispute. Our guests today consist of 3 candidates for the Superior Court. We thank all of you for coming and look forward to hearing a little bit more about each of you. Attorney Andrew Natala will now introduce our first candidate. Thank you.
Thank you, Angela. Our first speaker is Meghan McCarthy King. Meghan King graduated from Vanderbilt University and received a bachelor's degree in 1992. She then returned to Pennsylvania and to attend Pitt Law School, where she graduated in 1995, and her legal career began soon after. She joined the Lancaster County District Attorney's Office in 1996, where she immediately began supervising their child abuse unit. In 1999, Meghan King left the Lancaster County District Attorney's Office to clerk for then PA Supreme Court Justice Thomas Saylor until 2001. Eventually, she would return to the Lancaster County District Attorney's Office in 2012. Only this time, she'd be protecting society's elderly members. Meghan King became the head of the Elder Abuse Unit and led initiatives to better protect the senior citizens of Lancaster County. And she did all this while also maintaining duties in the Child Abuse Unit. In 2015, Meghan King took the role of Deputy District Attorney, but now in the Chester County District Attorney's Office, where she supervised both child abuse and elder abuse units. She has, in short, spent years endeavoring to protect the most vulnerable members of our society from those who would steal from and physically hurt those victims. After these many years of service, Meghan King was recognized by the Pennsylvania Family Support Alliance, the state leader in child protection, with the 2018 Blue Ribbon Champion for Safe Kids Award. She is the only prosecutor to receive that award. Meghan, of course, could not have done all this without the support of her family. That is her husband, Richard, her 2 sons, RJ and Thomas, her daughter, Elizabeth, and their Brittany Spaniel, named Judy. Without further ado, Attorney Meghan McCarthy King.
Thank you all. Thank you very much for the kind introduction, and I also want to thank the Crawford County Bar Association for providing us with the opportunity to meet fellow members of the bar, as well as the opportunity to speak to all of you. It's great to be here in Western Pennsylvania. It always gives me a chance to visit with family. The King family goes back multi-generations in Butler, Mercer, and now Allegheny counties. I'm also, as mentioned, a proud graduate of the University of Pittsburgh School of Law. I currently serve as the Deputy District Attorney of the Child Abuse Unit in Chester County. Last year, we had almost 2,000 reported cases of child abuse. I also previously served as the supervisor of the Child Abuse, Elder Abuse Unit, and Care Dependent Units in Lancaster County, and I have devoted my career to protecting the most vulnerable. As you can imagine, these are horrible cases that I've seen in my career. They are assaults, homicides, and also financial exploitation cases that are targeted against our most vulnerable population. Just to give you a sense of some of the cases that I have seen, while I've been traveling around to over 50 counties throughout Pennsylvania, it is a varied state. But one thing I have noticed is that the opioid crisis has impacted the communities throughout the state. And it's actually filtering now into the cases that I have, the child abuse cases. I prosecuted a husband and wife who were administering to a 14-year-old girl heroin. They actually took the drawstring out of her hoodie, tied it around her arm, and injected the needle filled with heroin into the crook of her arm. And we're seeing these kinds of cases, and these are cases that are ones that very often get appealed to the Pennsylvania Superior Court, just like many of the criminal cases involving lengthy sentences. In addition to my experience as a criminal prosecutor, I have both appellate as well as academic experiences. As stated, I clerked for Justice Thomas Saylor, where I heard both civil and criminal matters on appeal. So I understand the role of the appellate judges. And I've also had the opportunity I took some time off when I had my 3 children, and I went back and I got a master's degree in education. And then I taught education and special education laws and regulations and was a Pennsylvania certified teacher. I believe that together these professional experiences have provided me with the requisite tools to be an effective judge. But that is not why I'm running. I'm running because I believe in the justice system. I believe that we need judges who have integrity, experience, and the requisite judicial temperament to make fair decisions. Prosecutors are responsible in the courtroom to be ministers of justice and not simply an advocate. We are obligated to see that the defendants are accorded justice and to ensure that decisions of guilt are based on the sufficiency of the evidence. I have been grateful and proud to serve the Lancaster and Chester County communities, and it would be an honor to now serve the citizens of Pennsylvania and bring my experience, integrity, and justice to the Pennsylvania Superior Court. Thank you very much. I'm asking for your vote in November 2019, Meghan McCarthy King. Thank you.
Judge Dan McCaffrey currently serves on the Philadelphia Court of Common Pleas. Judge McCaffrey is the son of Irish immigrants. His father was a printer, while his mother was a custodial worker for the school district of Philadelphia. He joined the United States Army when he was 18 and served on active duty as a member of the 1st Cavalry Division. He was chosen by the military to attend the United States Military Academy at West Point Prep School. He graduated from Temple University in 1988 and Temple University Law School in 1991. Judge McCaffrey started his legal career as an assistant district attorney in Philadelphia, where he served from 1991 to 1997 in the Major Crimes Division. There, he personally prosecuted over 50 jury trials and more than 1,000 bench trials. Next, Judge McCaffrey joined the law firm of Friedman Schuman. He practiced there for the next 16 years as a civil trial attorney and also chaired the firm's commercial litigation department. He was elected judge of the Philadelphia Court of Common Pleas in 2013, where he has since presided over thousands of cases. He serves as an officer and board member to Self-Help Drug and Alcohol Rehabilitation Center in Philadelphia. Judge Dan McCaffrey serves on the Father Judge High School Board of Advisors and coaches its rugby team. He's the proud father of Madison, a public school teacher, and Mairead, a junior at Temple University. The Pennsylvania Bar Association Judicial Evaluation Commission has given Judge Dan McCaffrey its highest recommendation, stating, because of his broad experience as a practicing attorney, proven record of judicial leadership, high ethical standards, and dedication to the legal profession, the Commission is confident that the candidate would serve with distinction as a Superior Court judge and highly recommends his candidacy. Please welcome Judge Dan McCaffrey.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to first of all echo what Meghan just said. Me speaking between Meghan and Judge Peck is kind of like a rose between two thorns, or in this case, a thorn between two roses. So, in any event, I am Judge Dan McCaffrey, and I'm here asking for your support to tell you a little bit about myself for the Pennsylvania Superior Court. Essentially, I want to echo what Meghan just said. I am running for Superior Court because I care deeply about our court system in Pennsylvania. For those of you in this particular room, everybody understands what the Superior Court does. There's 15 judges in the Superior Court who handle basically about 8,000 appeals a year. They are the workhorse engine of the Pennsylvania court system. As Diane just mentioned, I am a son of Irish immigrants. My mother and father immigrated to this country in the 1950s. My mom and dad are from Belfast, Northern Ireland, and my father came to this country with $56 and a suitcase and left my mother back in Belfast with her 3 oldest children to earn enough money in this country to bring my rest of my family over to America. We settled in Philadelphia, where my father became a union organizer for the Printers Union, and my mother became a custodial worker. She was a cleaning lady for the local public school system in the city of Philadelphia. My mother and father, and I like to tell people I am a proud supporter of labor, primarily because my mother and father, as I just mentioned, fled their country of origin, Belfast, Northern Ireland, to escape religious persecution and prejudices, to afford a better life for their children. They raised 7 children in this country, and every one of their children has a college degree. And I was one of the ones lucky enough to become elected judge, and I was the only son born in this country. But more importantly, my mother and father were able to retire in their 60s with a pension, thanks to the union movement, and with dignity. And to me, that's very important, because the work that they exhibited, the work ethic that they exhibited to us, has a lasting impact upon who we are and what we're all about as a family, and it shows in my work ethic. As Diane mentioned, when I was 18 years of age, as you can imagine, as the youngest of 7, born to a large Irish Catholic family in a Philadelphia row house, we didn't have the money for college, so I joined the United States Army. I served proudly. One of my proudest moments in my adult career, I served on active duty with the United States 1st Cavalry Division at Fort Hood, Texas. I wear my 1st Cavalry pin where I go as an honor to those individuals who serve their country in the military. I served about 2.5 years active duty. I was one of 40 soldiers selected worldwide to attend the United States Military Academy Prep School at West Point, where I went, and after that I attended Temple University on a veteran scholarship. I graduated Temple in 2 years. I attended Temple Law School also on a veteran scholarship, and then I joined the Philadelphia District Attorney's Office. It was the one job interview I had as a 3rd-year law student at Temple University. I was offered a position by then District Attorney Ron Castile. Ultimately, Justice Castile became the Chief Justice of the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, and it was a job that fit me like a glove. I absolutely enjoyed and loved every single minute of being a prosecutor and an assistant district attorney. For those of you who can't imagine, I was just talking to your local district attorney and some of the assistants out here. In 5.5, 6 years in the DA's office, I literally tried thousands of cases, that's not an exaggeration, and about 50 or 60 jury trials. I was one of the top prosecutors in the DA's office. I represented victims of crimes in the city of Philadelphia, children, women who were abused. I prosecuted drug cases, gun cases, aggravated assaults, attempted murders, you name it, we prosecuted it. After about 6 years in the Philadelphia DA's office, I left, and I went to a small little law firm in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, with about 5 lawyers at the time. Through our hard work and diligence, I became a partner after 2 years. I became the chairman of the firm's litigation department at 3 years, and our firm, about 4 or 5 lawyers, grew to about 30 lawyers in the 15 years that I was there. I decided at that point to do commercial litigation. I did, you name it, I did it. I became one of Pennsylvania's top trial attorneys. I tried dozens of civil cases, thousands of bench trials over 16 years. I was a go-to attorney in southeastern Pennsylvania for municipalities, governments, businesses, individuals. I did plaintiff's work. I did plaintiff's defense work. I did pretty much everything there was under the sun as a civil litigator for about 15 or 16 years. In 2009, I ran for district attorney in the city of Philadelphia, and I finished second to Seth Williams, who ultimately became the DA of Philadelphia County. In 2012, I decided I was going to explore the possibility of running for Attorney General. I went around the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and I had an outstanding experience, but I decided to get out of the race and decided to run for a judgeship in Philadelphia, and I was elected judge. I was the #1 vote getter in Philadelphia in 2013. Since 2013, when I got elected judge in Philadelphia County, they put me right away into what's called the Major Trials Division. Philadelphia has 89 judges. There's 3 different divisions, and they put me right into the busiest crime-ridden district in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, which is called East Division. On an average basis, I probably handle about 35 to 40 jury trials a year. I travel and I handle over 1,000 waiver trials and motions since I've been a judge. I've written over 150 to 200 opinions to the Pennsylvania Superior Court in that time, and I've only been overturned 1 time. As Diane mentioned, I have been the only person who is highly recommended by the Pennsylvania Bar Association, and I kind of jokingly tell everybody, if you're not highly recommended after 28 years, you must be doing something wrong. So, after 28 years, my experience has been pretty much 14 years of criminal, 14 years of civil. Which is exactly what the Superior Court does. They handle all of the appeals from civil cases and all of the appeals from criminal cases. I've enjoyed every single minute of public service. As you can imagine, when I talked a little bit about my background, public service is integral to who I am and what I am. At 18, I joined the military. At 25, when I had the opportunity, I served my city as a prosecutor. I've been a youth sports coach. I've coached girls basketball. I coach a high school rugby team in Philadelphia. I've been a civic leader in Philadelphia. I've done whatever I can do for the citizens of the city and county of Philadelphia and for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. As I started off by saying, I care deeply about our courts. And this is something I've thought about long and hard as far as trying to take these particular experiences to the Pennsylvania Superior Court. I'm looking forward to serving on the Pennsylvania Superior Court. As I've had a wonderful time as a trial judge in the city and county of Philadelphia. So with your support, I will hopefully get there come November 5th. So my name is Judge Dan McCaffrey, and I am seeking a spot on the Pennsylvania Superior Court. So I want to thank the Crawford County Bar Association and Diane for once again inviting us to attend this particular forum today. It's nice to actually speak in front of a group of lawyers because you guys speak the language that we speak. So thank you all for coming out, and I appreciate your support. Thank you.
I'm proud to introduce a fellow Nittany Lion as our final speaker. Judge Christie Lee Peck graduated from the Pennsylvania State University in 1997 and went on to the Dickinson School of Law and graduated from there in 2001. Judge Peck completed the Ann Anstein Leadership Program for Women in 2010. Now, prior to becoming Cumberland County's Judge Peck, Christie Lee Peck worked in the Child Abuse Unit for the Lancaster County District Attorney's Office and as an associate at the law firm of Rhodes and Sinon, LLP, in Harrisburg. She served as a senior assistant district attorney for Cumberland County, prosecuting violent criminal offenders who committed homicides, rapes, robberies, and crimes against children. She's also made history at her election by becoming the first female elected judge to the Cumberland County Court of Common Pleas. Judge Christie Lee Peck was elected to the Cumberland County Court of Common Pleas in 2011, and her term expires in 2022. She presides over criminal, juvenile dependency, family, civil, and orphans court matters. She is a member of the Pennsylvania Supreme Court's Commission on Judicial Independence, and she is a current member of the Board for Pennsylvania Court-Appointed Special Advocates for Children. Judge Peck has previously served on the board for the Dickinson School of Law and on the advisory board of Pinnacle Health Children's Resource Center in Harrisburg. She also served as co-chair of the Legal Representation Work Group of the Pennsylvania Statewide Children's Roundtable. She enjoys teaching advocacy as an adjunct professor at the Penn State University Dickinson School of Law. And now to speak before you is Judge Christie Lee Peck.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you to for the hospitality to Crawford County Bar Association for having us here. I'm Christie Lee Peck. I am a judge on the Cumberland County Court of Common Pleas. I've been there for 8 years now. I want to talk to you. Everybody in here wants to talk about qualifications, and I'm going to talk to you about that in a second. But what people really want to know, I find when I've been traveling around the state, is who are you a good person, and why are you doing this? Especially since the Superior Court is not something that a lot of people pay attention to. I'm running because my heart is in the law. It's been in the law, it's been there for a long time, and I'm also running because I care about helping people and the citizens of this Commonwealth. I started as a prosecutor and really found that my heart was in helping children. And so that's what I really come from in terms of a perspective. When I took the bench 8 years ago, I won on both the Republican and the Democrat sides. That's of significance to me because the point is that it doesn't matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat. What matters is, are you going to be fair? Are you going to treat everybody with respect that comes into your courtroom? And are you going to make sure that you're applying the law, not making the law? And do you care about people? So when I took the bench 8 years ago, I volunteered to do the to do the dependency proceedings. And I've been doing it ever since. And it is heart-wrenching work. I do all areas of law in Cumberland County, but that's of particular interest to me because I care about trying to help children and give them some sort of justice and bring families back together. So to back up, just to tell you a little bit about who I am, I've grown up in central Pennsylvania all of my life. My grandfather, I'm not sure we would be in the professional capacity except that my grandfather, who grew up on a farm, his father passed away and his mother could not afford all of the children. And so he went to Girard in Philadelphia and got an engineering background and sort of propelled us into the professional world. My mother worked for the Department of Education and my father is a construction worker. I am the first person in my family to get a Juris Doctorate degree. Nobody in my family has been in politics. My mom taught me that we are here to serve the public and to serve people and to do so with care and with respect. So I worked in the Cumberland County District Attorney's Office, before that the Lancaster County District Attorney's Office, and before that I was working in private practice for a little bit doing every area there as well. But I really knew that I wanted to be in court, which is why I went to the prosecutor's office. And you have to be careful for what you wish for because now for the past 20 years I've been in court every single day. And on the Cumberland County bench, as you can imagine, that we're a third-class county, there's 6 of us there. We're in court every single day, all day. I say that to tell you that I'm coming from a perspective that I have practiced as a judge and presided over cases in every single area of law that the Superior Court looks at. You know that the Superior Court looks at family issues, criminal issues, civil, everything. And for 8 years, I have been doing exactly that, which makes me prepared for this position. I love my job. The best thing about my job is that I get to be a truth seeker. It's great to be an advocate. I had a great time doing jury trials. But right now, what I do every single day is I just try to find the truth of the matter and try to dispense justice while listening to people. And that's what I will do if I'm blessed to take one of the 2 positions on the Superior Court, is I will listen to everybody that comes in. I will respect them. I will bring my heart to the bench. And I hope to serve you in that capacity. I'll just leave you with one nice story. Just this week, earlier in the week, I was doing a proceeding in a family law matter, and I had a little girl. This is what's beautiful about my job. It was 2 little girls, they were there, and I asked them how they felt about what was happening, and it was a nice proceeding, and they said that they were happy about it, and the little girl came over to me and gave me one of those hugs that she squeezed me so tight that that doesn't happen. Usually people let go as adults, but it was a beautiful thing to do. That's the kind of things that I get to do and hopefully make a difference to some families and children in the state of Pennsylvania. Thank you. I'm asking for your support and your vote for one of the 2 seats on the Superior Court. Thanks again.
On behalf of all members of the Crawford County Bar Association, I would like to thank the candidates once again for traveling here, meeting with us, and helping to give Pennsylvania's voters some insight into the real people behind the names on the ballot. We encourage voters to continue to do their own research and make their own informed decisions as to the candidates they will choose this November. And most of all, we urge every eligible voter to get to the polls and cast your vote this November. Our democracy works best when everyone participates. Thank you.